Okay, so we said yesterday, Gemara basically ended off with a chiluk. We had a question that we said that Erchin is needed mechvoidai, and even something that's not so that's not necessarily doesn't work for Erchin. Right? Needed mechvoidai means if you say Erech Roisha Yolai, right? So the Roish, because it's such an important part of the body, it's Davar Shan Tluya Boy, therefore, and his covet is Tali Boy, his dignity, so therefore it's something that it really just includes the entire body, and therefore when you say Erech Roisha Yolai, he's chayiv the entire Erech, as opposed to other Refarim, which doesn't mean anything. We asked a stira from a brisa by Eved, that Eved, you say the hektish of the Rosh Eved should be hektish. It doesn't. They're just partners. Hektish and him are partners, but it's not that the Rosh means the entire body. Like Davish and Shamtu. Good morning. And also by Para, I think Mara asks questions from all these things. Mara says, "Loikashi habukachim izvech habukachim bedekabayis." By kachim izbeach, there's no concept of Nidal Mechavoida by Kolel B'Tekhabayis, which is similar to Arachin, because by Arachin is where we learn this concept of Nidal Mechavoida, because that's we learn from Pasuk Nefashos, right? Any Averish on Neshama Tluya, but the life force of a person, the Nefesh is totally by. Therefore, so to the whole person will be. It encompasses the whole person, the Gabi Arachin. So too regarding other Kolel B'Tekhabayis, but not Kachem Mizbeach. So that was the Gemara's chiluk. Kachem Mizbeach is not Nidal Mechavoida, but Kachem B'Tekhabayis is Nidal Mechavoida. Now the Gemara is going to continue to ask on that. Now that you've decided that it's Kachem Mizbeach, which means that you wanted to donate the value of the Rosh Eved, right? The Rosh Eved, you want to Kachem Mizbeach means you want to donate the money to actual carbon, right? That money should go towards an actual oila. The value of the head of the chamor should go for the oila, right? As opposed to just bedekabayis, which is just upkeep the base of English for whatever they would decide they needed. So b'mayu kimte b'kachim mizbeach. This that you would establish the b'kachim mizbeach and b'seifa. Let's see the seifa. How does the seifa work out? The seifa says even if you said that the head of this par is hektish, still ein hektish elo roisha. And we said it's because it's in Nidal Mechavoida, but it says the Gemara, how does that make sense? Amai tifshat kedusha bekula. Once it's going to be a carbon, it should be kaddish entirely. Why? Miloi Tanya, do we not have a brisa? If a guy says the leg of this animal should be an oila, yochotei kula oila, maybe the whole thing might be oila. Tamalomer kosher yitain mimenu laHashem yakodesh. Mimenu kodesh. We learn from this pasuk mimenu. Only part of it is going to be kaddish, like kula kaddish. Yochel teitze lechun, maybe it should be totally chulin. Tamalema yihya, v'yasei tehei. So it's in the middle. Haketze, what do you do? Timocher letzorchei oilas. It should be sold letzorchei oilas v'domea chulin, and the money. Meaning, if someone else is trying to buy an oil, you sell him this animal, right? And then the whole thing becomes an oil for that person. But what do you do with the money? V'domea chulin, and the money that you get for it is chulin. Chutz midmei oisei ever sheba. Except for that, the value of that limb, which has to go towards oil. Divrei of Meir. That's Rav Meir's shita, who holds that only the Aver is kosher. They add Divrei of Meir v'Rabbi Yehuda. Then they put a period. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon, Omer, Minayin lo'imer ragel shel oil shekula oila. They hold no, it spreads to the whole body. Minayin lo'imer ragel shel zu oila. If you just say the regular oila shekula oila, Talmud lo'imer kol asher yiten min Hashem. They focus on the word kol. Everything that you give him in Lashem Yakodesh, l'Rabbi says kula. Vafilu man damar in kula oila. Says the Gemara, even according to the first opinion, which says that the whole thing ain't kula oila, but still, hani mili daktish davar she'ein an neshama tluyba. That's something like a regel, like a leg she'ein an neshama tluyba. Avahal davar she'ein neshama tluyba yikacha kula. The implication is that everyone would be masking that avada the kedusha spreads to the entire animal. And therefore, if you said reish para alai and you established that it's talking about kachem mizbeach, right? Once it's kachem mizbeach, so the din should be that it should spread to the entire body, and now the whole thing should be brought as a carbon. Where it says leikashi abu kedusha saguf abu kedusha damim. When do we say that things spread automatically? When is this machlokes tanaim by the regel right? Which the implication is if it's a roish, it should spread. That's only if it's kedushas haguf. If you actually want to be makar with this animal, and you say this animal should be kadosh b'kedushas haguf to be brought as an oila, and therefore it would spread. The way kedusha works, right? Quote unquote, the way kedusha works is that it spreads in that way. But by us, we're talking about, even though we are talking about kachem mizbeach, which means that eventually we're going to end up with an oila, right? But we don't mean to say that this specific animal should be kaddish, just like the chamor can't be kaddish kedushas haguf, right? It's kedushas damim, right? So that's what it's called. It's called kedushas damim. Kedushas damim for the mizbeach, which means we would sell the head of the chamor, we would sell the head of the paro, we would sell the head of the eved, and with that buy korbanos. But the actual guf itself is not kaddish. Right? So we have already kachem at the kabayis is nidin b'chvayda. Right? Kachem mizbeach, it depends. If it's kedushas haguf, it's nidin b'chvayda. If it's not kedushas haguf, it's not nidin b'chvayda. Okay. Says the Gemara, "V'amar do Amar." What do you mean? Haven't we just said, or makdish zachar l'damav? Kedushas haguf. If your makdish is, even if your makdish is zachar l'damav, and you say, "Oh, I want the value of this male animal," right? Assuming it's not a balmum, let's say, right? Assuming that it itself is takaroi to be a carbon, right? So then it doesn't just stay with its damav status. It doesn't stay with its monetary, the values kaddish. No, kaddish kedusha, it becomes automatically kaddish kedushas haguf. Because the migu that it's kaddish kedushas damim, we say it just automatically flips to kedushas haguf. Because you could bring this actual one. Why would you sell it and bring another one? Just bring this one, right? So it automatically transfers to kedushas haguf, right? So what are you telling me that if you're makdish the roish para? No, it's kedushas damim. What do you mean? Don't we say that it just transfers to kedushas haguf? So the Gemara like kashi. When you makdish the whole thing, then we say it jumps to kedushas haguf. But when you makdish chad ever, if you just makdish the roish, right? So then it's not going to transfer to the whole thing. Rashi says it's two steps. It's trei migus lo yarmi. It's two migus. Like, you want to say first migu that you were makdish the head, you want to makdish the whole body, and then once you have the whole body, then you want to turn it to kedushas haguf. That's already two steps. We're not going to do that. Says the Gemara, what do you mean? Chad ever nami ibuye bayalan. We still had this kasha by chad ever. It's not true. It's not so simple. The BeiRav or Rava hikdish ever l'damav. If you're makdish an ever for its value, mahu. Right? What will be the halacha? You see, he had this shaila. He had the shaila, if you're makdish an ever l'damav, mahu. Will it spread? Right? Obviously, he means an aver that would be neshama tluya boy. Says the Gemara ki ba'ilan b'tam. Rab only asked by tam. Meaning, the shaila that Rava had was only by a tam, because it itself is taka shayach to be a carbon. Hocha, the case that Brother Bryce is talking about balmum. Since it's a balmum, dumya de chamor, just like chamor, which is right just like a chamor is as if it's a balmum because it can't be brought as a carbon itself. So too, the part we're talking about is a balmum, and therefore there's no raya, right? Because over here the kedusha won't spread because it's a balmum. Fine. Says the Gemara, what do you mean? Balmum nami yibuy ba'ilan. We also have the shaila about balmum, because balmum could also have kedushas haguf. Right? Balmum, it sometimes has kedushas haguf. So the BeiRav, Zemei roishi l'gabe mizbeach ma'u. Means Rabba's discussion. Rabba even asked this question by Demei Roishi l'gabe mizbeach. Is my own head. If I say Demei Roishi l'gabe mizbeach, what would the halacha be? Does that mean it spreads to my entire body, or does it not spread to my entire body? Right. So you see that even in something that's not shayach b'chlal to be a carbon, like a chamor, like a roish eved, and like a roish para that's a balmum, it should be the same thing, because Haloi Rabba has the kasha, has the shaila. If his own head do we say it's nidin v'chvayda, right? And that's kedushas damim. It can't be kedushas haguf. He's not going to be a carbon. It's kedushas damim, right? And it's roishai, right? And it's l'gabe mizbeach, right? So you see, you still have the shaila even though it's the balmum. Says the Gemara, you're right. Ki ba'ilan, good morning. Ki ba'ilan. When did he ask this question? Before he heard this mishnah. But now that he heard this mishnah, he wouldn't have the shayla. He only thought so before, but once he saw this brisa that says it's not nidin b'chvaydai, right? So then he wouldn't have had the shayla at all. Okay. Gufa. By Rabba asked. Now we're going to just say over Rabba's question. If I say my head's value should be brought as a carbon, Same shaila we had, right? Does he have to bring does it spread to his entire body? Does he have to give the value of his entire self, or not? So, what are the two tzadim? Either lo yashkecham b'damim de'einu nidin mechvoida. We haven't found by damim that he's not nidin mechvoida. Right. So since this is damim, it's like Erchin, right? So it should be nidin mechvoida. We haven't found by damim that's not nidin mechvoida. We haven't found regarding mizbeach that is nidin mechvoida. We haven't found. Rabbi Eliyahu says by balmum. He means we haven't found that by balmum it's nidin mechvoida. Okay, it's a little bit of a tough gemara. What do you mean la'ashkechon legabi mizbeach? What do you mean? We just said that both Tanaim would agree that the head should spread. Okay, so the Gemara talks about it. It's a Shiloh, exactly what this Gemara is trying to say. But the way Rabbi Eliyahu says is that we haven't found by balmum ever legabi mizbeach the nidin mechvoida, and therefore maybe it shouldn't work. Okay. Either way, take it. But this again, the Gemara is saying is before you heard the brayso. So this Shiloh we answered. The answer to the Shiloh is that it's not, right? Is that it's not going to spread, right? But this Shiloh you had before you heard the brayso. BeiRav. Now Rav has other questions. Right? So this is sort of we're going to have a bunch of cases that are in between. He's erkiolai legabe mizbeach, and so on the one hand it's an erech, right, which is bedek habayis, but he said. Right, which is just the money to the Beis Hamikdash, right? But then he says legabe mizbech. He wants it to be a carbon. So mahu, is he nidin v'heseg yad or ain't nidin v'heseg yad? If he can't afford what he promised, right? So then, can he get the cheaper rate? Right? The Torah says that if you can't afford, the Kohen just evaluates how much you can give. Will that apply here also? Because lo yashkechan be'erchin, we haven't found be'erchin the ain't nidin v'heseg yad. Meaning always be'erchin, you have heseg yad. So over here it's the same thing. Or maybe lo yashkechan legabe mizbeach demifrik el b'shovya. Or maybe we say I'm sorry because since you said that the erech should be going towards the mizbeach, towards the carbon, we never found the gabe karbonis, the gabe the mizbeach, that you're able to get away with something different than the value of what you promised. Right? Always when you donate something to the mizbeach, you have to give exactly what you promised. We don't give you breaks, the gabe mizbeach. So over here we have one case that has two aspects. It has an aspect of erech and an aspect of mizbeach. So that's where we're stuck in the middle over here. We don't know what to do. Does it work b'heseg yad? The problem is that he vowed that this money should go to mizbeach, and that you can't just give him a break. And so the Gemara take by Rav Ashi, similar thing by hikdish de'achuza. If you're makdish de'achuza, the gabe mizbeach, the sada of his nachala that he so. He wants to be makdish that to the mizbeach. Mao. So mi amrinon lo yashkan sdeachuza de bifrika ela beis zera chaymer so'irim v'chamishim shekel kasef. Right. The Torah says is that if you're, let's say you're makdish your sdeachuza, right? Then what happens is you have to redeem it with a specific amount of money. You have to redeem it. If it's a base zera chaymer so'irim, that's a certain amount of property which holds the chaymer zera so'irim, right? So it's a specific. Amount of property, right? And that is for chamishim shekel kesef. So for every acre or however much it is, right? For every specific amount of property, you have to pay chamishim shekel kesef, right? And that's the rate that you redeem your sada when you were donated to Hekdesh, right? That's the rate for Sdei Achuzah, right? The problem is he said the gabe mizbeach, right? So this is the pasuk says Sdei Achuzah. That's by regular Sdei Achuzah. You didn't say the gabe mizbeach. You want to say I want to be makdish my Sdei Achuzah, and then you want to redeem it, so it costs 50 shekel kesef. But over here, since he said it's the gabe mizbeach, so maybe we have to go with the real value, the actual market value of the property, as opposed to just the regular the prescribed value of the Torah, which is not for the mizbeach, right? So it's the same shaila. Lo yashkechan sdei achuzah the mifrika. We haven't found the sdei achuzah that was ever that's redeemed. Ela bei zero chamisarim b'chamishim shekel kasef. Oidilma no lo yashkechan legabe mizbeach the mifrika el b'shavia. We never find when something goes to the mizbeach that it's redeemed and the value goes to the mizbeach if it's not the actual market value, and therefore you might have to sell it like on the regular real estate market. Take it. Let's just take it. Okay. Pas nisan. Pachos mi ben chodesh. Nidar v'lei nerach. If someone says about a baby that's less than a month, he wants erko yolai, right? He says the Torah never gives an erech for under a month. The lowest one is a month, right? And then it goes from male and female, and then from a month until 5 years, and then from 5 years until 20 years, I think, right? 5 years until 20 years, right? And then 20 to 16, 16 up, right? So, but under a month, there's nothing, right? So let's say a guy says, "Pachas min chodesh nidar." So we're saying he's nidar v'lo nerach. So nidar, in terms of a neder, makes sense. Like the Gemara said yesterday, you can make a neder to donate the value of anything, of a tree, right? So for sure, an infant, right? But Erchin, he's not in the parsha of Erchin. So nidar v'lo nerach. Okay, Tan Rabbanan. Amarich pachas min chodesh. Let's say someone in fact does. He says the erech of a pachas min chodesh a lie, right? He's hamarich pachas min chodesh. So Rav Meir, listen down. Rav Meir says he has to give the monetary value. And he's asking that it's not in the parsha of Erchin, but too bad you have to give the as if you were noider. Nah, it doesn't mean anything. Not chayv anything. What is the machlokes in your man chachamim? Says the Gemara. Rav Meir Savar.
The Mishnah's Rav Meir.
I don't know if the Mishnah is Rav Meir. Could be even the Chacham. The Chacham hold he's not nerach.
Oh, it's the price is marach.
Right.
That's everything.
Well, I think the Bryce is talking about nerach too. We're just saying the word marach. A pachas min chodesh can't be marich, right? He's not doing. It's not pachas min chodesh sheherich, right? It's someone who's being marich, meaning right. He's donating the value of the pachas min chodesh. But the Mishnah is talking about. It's saying that pachas min chodesh is in the parsha of Nedarim. It's not in the parsha of Erechim, right? That everyone agrees. The question is let's say you did it anyway, right? So says Rav Meir, you have to give damov, right? And Chachamim say no, lo yamar klum. Chachamim say in order for you to have to give damov, you have to actually say demei pachas min chodesh alai. The Gemara is going to say, what's the machlokes? Rav Meir savar ein adam ma'isi dvar levatola. He says a person is not going to say shtosim, right? People don't just say shtuyot, right? So ein adam ma'isi dvar of levatola. And Yedeya, he knows she'ein erchin lepachas min chodesh. He knows that there's no such thing as erchin for under a month. The omar l'shem damim. So he sort of decided and says l'shem damim. That's what he really means. He said erechai, right? He said the word erech, but he really means damim, right? So Rav Meir assesses this person's statement and says it can't be you meant erchin, must be you meant, so we reinterpret it to mean damim, and therefore he's chayv damim. Rabbanan Savri, no, adam ma'itid v'al. Big deal. The guy says shtuyot, right? He didn't know. Or he didn't know, or he says shtuyot, right? He made a mistake. Either way, it means nothing because there's no such thing as erchin. In order to be chayiv, you have to, like the Mishnah says, you have to be nidar. You have to actually be nidar. Okay, Kaman Azla says the Gemara, Hada Amar of Gidol, Amar Revi. Who does this following statement go according to? Meaning which one of Rav Meir or the Chachamim? If a person ha'omer erech kli olai, if someone says the erech of a kli, of a vessel, right? Nice and damim, you have to give damim, right? So you have to give. It's as if you were noider the value of that kli, the value of that chair, of that table, whatever you gave. Says the Gemara, Kerem Meir. Must be it's like Rav Meir. Why? Because according to Rav Meir, we retranslate, even though there's no such thing as erchin for a kli, right? There's no such thing, only for people. But we reinterpret your words to mean nedarim. Says the Gemara, Pshita, the Kerem Meir. Say obviously it's going to Rav Meir. Because right, it's very simple that it follows that it's Rav Meir Shita. So no, I would think over here maybe it's the Rabbanan. Hasam who did toy by us in the case of less than ben chodesh. That's when someone might make a mistake. Just like there's erchin for someone who's a month old, so he doesn't know, right? It's a smaller mistake, right? So therefore, it's really a mistake, and it really is a mistake. You really thought that you could do it less than a chay, and he never meant nedarim, and therefore the Chachamim say he's not chayv anything. Over here you can't make this mistake. Everybody knows that you can only be marich humans, right? That's the whole thing, right? So therefore maybe the Chachamim by kli would be masking and say v'gomer v'amr l'shem damim, that we reinterpret his words that he meant damim. Mashmalan, that's why Rav Gidol says no, it's not true, or that's why we're pointing out that it's still only Rav Meir. The Rabbanan hold no, he made a mistake. You've taka thought that someone might even make that type of mistake and think that erchin works for kalim, and therefore it means nothing. Rav Meir, l'mai itzrich. According to Rav Meir, why do you have to tell it to me? Why would you have to tell me even that erch kli you reinterpret it to damim. Doesn't it follow just like pachas min chodesh? I might think time of Rav Meir Hassam is the Gazer Pachas Min Chodesh Atu Min Chodesh. I would think that really Rav Meir, the reasoning of Rav Meir is because he's Geyser. He says if we say under a month, if nothing works, the people are going to say, oh, over a month also. So he's Geyser Pachas Min Chodesh Atu Min Chodesh. Aval Hacha the Lekel Migzar. But over here, there's no point to be Geyser because no one's going to make a mistake. Everyone's going to say, oh, the reason why you were Mechayvim because it's a Kli, right? So therefore, Eimaloi Kamash Malan. That even over here Rav Meir holds your chayiv time, but the reason of Rav Meir is the ein adam moitzi dvar levatala, and leish nacha doesn't make a difference by Kerem, doesn't make a difference by pachas min chodesh. We reinterpret his words. Keman azla hadam Rabbi Yosef, Rav Bar Yosef Amarav, Amri lo Amrav Yeva Bar Yosef Amarav. The following statement: who is this going to? Hamakdish ve'emus chaveroi. If someone's makdish his friend's behema, noisin domel. He has to give the value. He's chayiv the value. Again, the Gemara says Keman Kerem Meir. Why? Because the problem over here is you could only be makdish something that's yours. I know the makdish davar she'ena shaloi. If I go to your thing, it's kaddish. That can make a difference, right? It has to be yours. Right. Oh no. So what do we say? We say, well, everyone knows I can't be makdish your thing, right? So what does he mean? It doesn't mean to be makdish your cow. He means that he's promising the value to the Beis Hamikdash. That's what he's doing. And so who's that going? That's according to Rav Meir. That's Rav Meir's reasoning. He reinterprets his words. According to the Chachamim, they'll say, makdish davar she'ena shaloi, go jump in the lake. It's no shaychus. Right? So, Kiman azlas Rav Meir. Says the Gemara, if so, ha'amar Rav chadazim. Didn't Rav say this already? Amar Rav Gidol Rav, ha'amar erech kli olai, ha'isen damav. Right? He said this already. Right? It's the same chiddush. It's the same exact idea that you just reinterpret his words, right? So why would he say it again? The Gemara says no. I might think over there, Rav Meir's reasoning still applies because we assume a person knows that you can't be Marach Kelim, and therefore the Gomer, right? Gomer Vomer, he meant we say that he decided to do the Shem Damim. But by Behema, that it actually is Shaykh the Hektish, right? The owner himself could be Makdishin, right? So therefore, maybe Rav Meir would say it's not the same. I might see this is what he means to say. If I would ask the Mara and Mazvinli, he would sell it to me. Mazvin Laniali, he would sell it to me. Then it should be Tikdash Lo Mehashta Ve'akrava. I mean, what he meant is he didn't mean that he's going to be makdish it now. He knew that I can't just be makdish my friend's thing. What he meant is, let me go, I'll buy it from him, and then I'll have the power to be makdish it, and it should be kaddish even from now. And if I buy it from him, it should be kaddish even now, and that's what he meant. Putting aside whether it works or not, right? But the nekuda is that he had some type of rationalization where it actually would work. So we don't reinterpret his words because he's not making a mistake, right? Maybe he meant that. Maybe Taka meant it by mistake. It should be kaddish from now. The akrava. But it never meant dummy. Rav Meir's opinion, Rav Meir's idea is only if we know for sure the guy didn't mean. He didn't mean that there's an erech for pachas min chodesh. He didn't mean there's erech for kli. Because everyone knows, right? But over here, maybe Taka made a mistake, and therefore we don't reinterpret his words. Kamash Malan. Therefore, Kamash Malan Rav know that in all these cases, Rav Meir Taka does hold that we reinterpret his words because he made the mistake, and therefore we just say it's chayv and dam. Amar Avashi, v'hu Amar olai. The only case over here where he's chayav the damim is if he says olai. Aval Amar means if he says that this animal hamakdish, he says his behemoth chaver should be kaddish olai. If he says the words olai, then he could be chayav in the damim. But if he says harei zu, so vayter doesn't mean anything. Meaning harei zu is when you designate this animal. The chiv isn't on you. The chiv is sort of on this animal, and if this animal gets lost, you're potter, right? Olai means it's on you, and so it says Rav Ashi, this whole thing that we're talking about, you could be chayiv in damim at all, right? Is only if you actually say the words olai. But if you didn't even say the words olai, so then it's not going to mean anything. You can't be mechayiv yourself moment for that either. Okay. Weiter. Shaila is a non-Jew.
Right.
So Meir Minerach of Alei Mare.
You know how much money.
Wow.
He can't. If he does Erchin, he's not chayav.
But what's his narrow?
But if someone else does, the erech of Tony, erech of Donald Trump.
It depends on his age. It's the same thing
Yeah,
as Yid?
same thing, male, female, age, yeah.
Wow.
You say Donald Trump's erech Donald Trump alai,
It's the same
so you're
thing
chai.
as the flower bums.
Donald Trump doesn't have any worth.
It's the same as a flower
Odom yidea she'ein ein adam moitzi dro levatol, Odom yidea she'ein erech l'Trump.
It's such a great area.
But if Donald Trump it says erech Kushner alai, right, so he's potter. That's Rabbi Eliyahu Raful Amir nerach avalei marich. Rabbi Yehuda Amir marich avalei nerach.
What?
The reverse, exactly. Everyone's masking shenoidim v'nidarim. Everyone's masking that in terms of neder they're chayev, and if you were noider their value you're chayev. In terms of nidarim they're chayev. Okay, so Gemara says the Gemara Tan Rabban. Bnei Yisrael ma'arichin ve'ein oivri kachavim ma'arichin. Right, so this is the shita of Rav Meir. Yochol lo yu nerach. Maybe if they're not marich, also they can't be nerach. Tamlemer ish. No, ish sort of is inclusive. All men, even non-Jews, any man, and therefore they're nerach. Div Rav Meir. Omer Rav Meir. Since there's one pasuk that's marbet, the word ish is marbet. Mikra echad mimayin. The pasuk of Bnei Yisrael says dafka Bnei Yisrael. Right, that's mimayin. So mipneimani omer. How do I know nerach v'lei marich? Right, maybe it's the opposite. There's one who said the ribui is for nerach and not for marich. He says because we find that there are more ne'erachim in general than marichin. There are more people who are shaykh to being in the set of people that are ne'erach than people who are able to be marich. Someone could say erech chereshet v'katan, right? The erech of chashu is on sh'ab should be chayev. But they themselves can't be marich. So you see that the set of people who are nerach is bigger. So too a guy is in that set. Yudaim Bnei Yisrael nerachin. He says the opposite. Bnei Yisrael are nerach. Ve'ein oiv kechavim nerachim. They can't be nerach. Yochel lo yu marichin tam lemer ish. Maybe you say also shouldn't be married, ish, right? So he learns the opposite. If once there's a pasuk that's marbe, another pasuk is mimayit. Who said, right? Why should I choose one or not? He says no, fakir. They're more ma'arichim than nerachim. He says the set of people that are marich are more. Why should I rate tumta v'adroginus ma'arichim v'lo nerachim? So tumta v'adroginus, right? They're shaykh to be chayiv and to be marich someone else, but they themselves they're not zachar nekev, and therefore they can't be nerach. So he says the opposite is true. So Amar Rava, Hilchasei Rav Meir mistabra. The halacha, the psaka of Meir makes sense, but time le mistabra. This time is not mistaver. Time is Rabbi Yehuda mistaver. The reasoning of Rabbi Yehuda is mistaver, but Hilchasei le mistaver. Now he's going to go through what he Hilchasei Rav Meir mistaver tiksiv. He likes the psak din of Rav Meir. Why? Because loy lochem velonu. Pasuk in Ezra that says loy lochem velonu livnois es beis alekenu. Ezra was telling the goyim over there that the goyim wanted to help them build the Beis Hamikdash, to donate things. He says, no, you can't help us build the Beis Hamikdash. He was trying to say that it's the Gemara is going to explain exactly why, but the goyim wanted to donate to the Beis Hamikdash. We don't want you to help us make the Mikdash. We don't want you to have a say. We're not interested in your money. So you see from Ezra that we don't accept goyim's money, right? So therefore, it makes sense that we can't. It makes sense that we shouldn't accept it. So the psak makes sense that he shouldn't be ma'arich, right? But nerach, yeah. But Taimir Lemistav, his reasoning that he himself wrote, the reasoning of Meir said, the Kamaisa the Mecharshat V'Katan, he brings that you see the Chershat V'Katan is nerach, but they're not ma'arich. Shani, that's not a proof. That's not a deficiency in the set of people that are not nerach, because the Kamaisa because Shani Chershat V'Katan lavnei deyaninu. Chershat V'Katan are not lavnei deyah, so of course they're not nerach. It doesn't show anything about the category of nerach, right? He wants to say, look, the category of nerach is slimmer, it's smaller, and therefore it's more. The category of marich is slimmer, it's more exclusive. Therefore, a guy is not bechlalda. He says, it's not more exclusive. The chesed v'katan not shaykh to a lot of things. The lav neidein, so avada, it doesn't show anything about the category. It doesn't shed any light on the But time of Rabbi Yehuda is mistabra because the ma'aseh mitum devadrogenos. Rabbi Yehuda, it does show that there really is that in the set of people that are nerach, that are shaykh to being nerach, right? He does show that it is actually exclusive. It's smaller. Why? Even though there are bnei deya, so why should they be included? Still miyatin rachmana. So you see from there that taka there are people that shouldn't be shaykh to nerach, and therefore even a guy. But Hilchas Yelo Mistaber, he doesn't like the psak din. Diksiv lo lochem v'lanu livnei space alekenu, because the taka says they shouldn't. So how could you say that a guy could be ma'arich? Harry, the pasuk says we shouldn't take things from guy. So Rabbi Yehuda. Hi loy lochem v'lanu my avidei. What does he do with loy lochem v'lanu? Right, how does he explain? Harry, isn't there a pasuk that says we shouldn't take money from goyim? So Amrav Chisda. The Erechim Nignaz, his erech should be, meaning even though he's chayiv and he has to give the money, but we don't use the money because we don't want to use their money in the Beis HaMikdash. So it has to be nignaz. You have to bury it. You have to hide it. But says if it's nignaz, then there shouldn't be me'ilah, because we're going to show that whenever there's something has to be nignaz or has to be mace or something you can't use it, there's no din me'ilah. The Tanan Chamesh Chatos HaMesos, the five chatos that are mace, certain types of vlad chatos, different chatos that are mesa, you just have to make sure they die. And money, anytime you say a money is aser ba'anoah, and you have to just throw it to Yam HaMelech, right? So in those situations, loy nanin is aser ba'anoah, v'loy moyalin also. Since it goes to the mesa, since it's to be destroyed, so there's no din me'ilah. So even if you're not chayiv me'ilah if you use it. So Alma. So what do you see? So if so, Allah Matanya got bekacha avlikacham. So how come by kacha avlikacham? It says like this: when is there no me'ilah bakacha mizbeach? Because we learn it from Truma. It's a whole thing. But if a guy has kacha bedekabayis, if donates kacha bedekabayis, there is me'ilah. You are ma'ilin behind. If you just told me that you have to be going as any type of donation from a guy, even for bedekabayis, right? So then. Why should it be me'ilah? You have to be going. You have to. The rule we saw from the previous price is every time you have to kill an animal, or you have to be going to something. You have a melech. There's no me'ilah. Mishum rifin yadayim mishum rifin yadayim. The reason is you don't have to be going. Is it really? You don't have to be going. Is it the reason why? What does Rabbi Yehuda say? Lo lachem v'lanu. He says, "Avad, you don't have to be going." So you could use it. Rabbi Yehuda, what do you mean? The pasuk says we shouldn't take money from going. Over there, that was specifically in the beginning of Bayis Sheni, in that specific situation, the Goyim were trying to get their hand involved in the building of the Beis HaMikdash, and their ultimate agenda was to not let us build the Beis HaMikdash, and therefore we don't want to take money so that they wouldn't have any excuses to say, oh, we're part owners over here, right? So the reason we didn't accept over there is because the Rifri Nidayim, we don't want them to weaken our hands, right? The Am over there, the people of the land, they were weakening the hands of the Am Yehuda, the nation of Israel, and they were rushing them to build. And Kitzur, they were involved, and since they were involved, there was weakening the whole process, and they were getting it. So therefore, we said no, not take them. But Avada, independently, if a guy just donates, you can accept his stuff. Same thing should apply to Nedarim also.